The first and best mobile adventure game for 2022 will be Clash Heroes. This game is made by Supercell, which means it will get lots of downloads. But as I've said in many of my other videos, these lists are not based on how many downloads games will get in the Play Store, but rather how popular they will be among serious gamers. The reason why I think this game will be popular among serious gamers is because it is going to be kind of a unique game for the mobile phone. Clash Heroes looks like it's going to be kind of a Minecraft Dungeons game, which there are not a lot of those, and I think it's going to do really well on the mobile phone because it doesn't have a lot of time commitment each time you play. Now, I do think this game will be a little bit more casual than a lot of the other games that I usually put on these lists, mainly because Minecraft Dungeons is still a little bit more of a casual game than some of these other games, but also because it's Supercell, and Supercell has had a tendency to make more casual games. Now, I will admit that ever since Tencent took over ownership of Supercell, they have reduced some of the paywall. Those of you who played Clash of Clans know that they had a paywall to make it to where you simply could not max out your base without paying, thus giving you a disadvantage. And while it is still true of Supercell and a lot of their games, you can see in games like Brawl Stars that they're toning it down just a little bit, and I think that has to do with Tencent. The bonus game on this list is A3 Still Alive, which is a multi-genre game. When downloading this game, you will immediately recognize it as an MMORPG, but it is definitely not limited to just that. In fact, this game has one of the most intriguing battle royale modes I have ever seen. Some of you might remember that I put this game at number 2, just under Genshin Impact, in my video on the top 10 MMOs for 2021, which now has over 300,000 views. Since that video was released, this game has come out with a ton of new updates, including even more really quality game modes. The latest of these updates is potentially the biggest, and it is the reason I am honored to be sponsored to talk about this game in this video, because this latest update is a brilliantly integrated blockchain update. Now, when you hit level 190 in A3 Still Alive, a new location becomes available in which you can grind for Enitrium ore. This ore can be refined into Enitrium, which can be exchanged for external cryptocurrencies through Netmarble's new MBX wallet. So this is essentially the cryptocurrency backed by Netmarble, which is a giant game company with tons of great games. And then starting on April 14th of this year, that cryptocurrency can be exchanged for real money. So this is a huge step for Netmarble, and it is all starting with A3 Still Alive, which is a game that I already love and have already recommended to you guys in previous videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, please go click on the link that I put in the description and pinned comment of this video so that you can go register or download the game to get started. The second game on the list is Just Cause Mobile. This game is labeled as an action shooter, which might make you wonder why I put it in the adventure genre. And while I probably should have put it in some of my other videos as well, the reason why I think it will be attractive to adventure gamers is because of the type of game modes it is offering. The game features a longer action-packed story campaign and 4-player co-op missions which capture the adventure feel. But even more than that, its 30-person competitive multiplayer is set up in such a way that even it feels a little bit more like an adventure than your normal AAA game. So basically, it's going to be a really amazing game like a lot of other games, but it's going to have kind of an adventure twist to it. And I cannot emphasize enough how quality this game looks like it's going to be. All 4 game modes are completely free to play. It has high quality 3D graphics powered by Unreal Engine 4, integrated voice chat, and responsive touch controls. But the thing that truly sets this game apart is its unique movement system, which allows you to use buildings and terrain to continuously switch between grappling, parachuting, and using your wingsuit. The third game on the list is Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery. This is a classic adventure game, and they have done things really well. The immediate appeal of this game is that it puts you in the life of a student at Hogwarts. The Sorting Hat places you in either Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and then you go through the school. You learn potions, you learn spells, you do all of the stuff that a student at Hogwarts would do, including all of the adventures that you see in the movies. Going and exploring all of the secrets of the school, befriending magic magical creatures like the Niffler, playing Quidditch and earning the House Cup. So ultimately they did a good job of capturing the feel of Hogwarts, getting a 4.5 rating on Google Play, but they've also done a good job of integrating co-op and multiplayer, so a lot of husbands and wives enjoy playing this game and doing the adventure side by side. The fourth game is Gangstar New York. This game is made by Gameloft and is coming out both on the PC and the mobile phone at the same time. The premise of this game is that it offers the ultimate sandbox experience in a near future New York City. As you explore this futuristic new city, you can parkour, grapple, zipline, jetpack, steal things from others, and even have aerial battles. And then within that open world, there's 10-player co-op, PvP events, and all kinds of missions that you can do. Of those things you can do, one of my favorite things is that you can take a hotspot on the open world and kind of claim it as a territory with your gang, and then set the rules on what other people can and can't do when they enter in y'all's territory. The fifth game on the list is Hitman Sniper by Square Enix. This game is not a new game, but it has proved itself over the years as one of the best adventure games, and I don't think enough people have experienced it because it costs $1 to be able to play it. And while $1 is not that much, it does deter a lot of people that are used to trying out free games and then deciding later if they like the game whether or not they're going to spend money. That being said, even though this game costs $1, it has gotten over 10 million downloads, almost 900,000 reviews, averaging at 4.3, and has gained the Editor's Choice Award from Google Play. The game calls itself an action game, but I think it is much more of an adventure game. In fact, I would argue that it is the best sniper-based adventure game, allowing you to go through eliminating high-profile targets and upgrading your unique sniper rifles with powerful abilities. And then once you finish the campaign or the adventure part of the game, it has a bonus zombies mode so that you can keep on enjoying the game. The sixth game is Swordigo. This game is new and is blowing up as one of the most exciting adventure games for 2022. One of my favorite quotes about this game is from Side to Play, where they said that Swordigo is a love letter to the platforming and adventure games of the past. I love this description because I feel like it captures the game really well. Swordigo is based in a magical realm with lots of dungeons and towns full of treasure, and then as you fight the various monsters in the game, you gain experience and level up your character. Much like many of the classic action games, this game allows for a lot of progression, both in leveling up and getting new weapons, but also in developing skill for the game. So if you are good at playing platformers, you will get really good at this game. And then the last thing that makes this game so good for the mobile phone is because the developers designed the gameplay to be fluid and challenging specifically for the mobile phone, and they even allow you to customize your controls to your preference. The seventh game is Sky Children of the Light. This game is another game that is not necessarily new, but they are continuously updating the game, making it feel new even for the experienced players. One of the things that I love the most about this game is how calming it is. As you go on your adventure, you will get dazzled by the colors and immersed in the calming and beautiful music of this game. And then once you finally finish one of the beautiful realms of this game, you will be elated to find out that there are 6 more waiting for you. As you play the game, there are new things to unlock, but not a ton of them, which allows you to focus on the calming and slow-paced, adventurous nature of this game. Now, you will notice other players in this game because it is technically also an MMORPG, but the devs have set it up in a way where everyone is kind of forced to be uplifting to each other, and there's not really room for people to be toxic. So again, it creates a very slow-paced, calming adventure for those people that like that style of game. The 8th game on the list is Lost Lands 3. This is your classic puzzle game, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they did a really good job with it, and I have a lot of respect for this game. The story starts with your character, an ordinary housewife named Susan, visiting a museum in which she gets sucked into a magical land via a mirror. In this game, there are over 50 stunning locations and more than 40 different mini games. So if if you like adventure games but also like puzzles, this is my #1 recommendation for you. The 9th game is another game by Square Enix named Life is Strange True Colors. 7 years after the original Life is Strange, this game improves on the original concept. If you like your adventure games to feel kind of like a movie, then this is a beautifully written modern adventure game very much like the first one. But instead of a story where you play as a photography student that can rewind time, you play as a girl named Alex Chin who has the ability to absorb and manipulate the emotions of others. In this story, Alex just recently lost her brother and has to use her abilities to figure out what happened to him. One of the things that really makes these games stand out is that the stories change based on the choices you make. And it's not one of those superficial games that gives you the illusion of choice but ultimately you end up in the same place, but rather there are multiple endings to the story based on the choices you make, allowing there to be more replayability for these games. The last game on the list is Final Fantasy VI, and while this game is new to mobile, it is definitely not a new game, but rather just the original Final Fantasy VI that has been recently remastered and put on the mobile phone. And while they didn't do a perfect job of remapping all the controls to make it perfect for the mobile phone, they did a really good job, and the game is still as amazing as what made it famous so long ago. But the biggest catch with this game, and the reason why it is at the bottom of the list, is because it cost $18 upfront to buy. Okay, so those are the top 10 mobile adventure games for 2022, but I do have 3 more honorable mentions for you. The first one is Awaken Astral Blade. This game is a dark fairy tale Metroidvania game based in the setting of a mysterious ancient ruins. Loretta, a girl who has a parasitic relationship with an alien beast, has tried to break through the fog and uncover the truth about her fate. This game has a lot of potential, but because the alpha hasn't even been released yet, I don't think it will actually come out this year. The second honorable mention is N-INNOCENCE. This is a promising upcoming Japanese action RPG developed by Osibimo. The game is produced with the most advanced 3D CG technology in the industry, and the developers are committed to creating gorgeous game effects. And they've gotten the participation of some famous voice actors. So it sounds amazing, but the gameplay that I've seen so far looks incredibly lacking. Also, they seem to rely heavily on sexy images, which is something that makes me generally think they're lacking in other areas. That is not always true, but based on the gameplay I've seen so far, it looks like it is true in this case. And then the last honorable mention is Tomb Raider Reloaded, which I have said many times before, I just don't see this game going that far. It is Tomb Raider, which is a highly loved series, but it looks more like a typical kitschy mobile game with lots of in-app purchases and very minimal storyline. So while I did go ahead and put it in my top 10 action games because there is quite a bit of hype for it, I simply don't think that it will be a good fit for those players looking for an adventure game. If you are looking for a Tomb Raider adventure game, then I would recommend Lara Croft Go, which although it costs $6 and is not a new game, it is a much more fitting game if you like the action genre. Well, that's it guys, hope that helps. If a game is not on here that you think should be on here, it is probably because I put it in a different genre, like perhaps action games or something else. Many of those videos are already out and the rest will be out very soon. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.